Hello. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about the workshop assignments and your discussion forum assignments. So, these are two of the things that you're regularly going to be doing for our English 15 course. There are two basic types of workshops. There's planning workshops or planned workshops and revision workshops. So in this video, we're going to cover both of those as well as talking about how you submit those, and we're going to talk about the discussion forum posts and how you submit those. So for the most part, the discussion forum posts and the workshops run on a Wednesday-Sunday schedule. So for planning workshops, revision workshops actually just run on a Wednesday schedule, and I'll tell you more about that when we talk about those. But with the planning workshops and with the discussion forum posts, you're going to post your actual response to the prompt by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the week that's assigned. So you can look at the schedule that's available in the syllabus or up on Canvas, and you can see which weeks have workshops assigned. But on those weeks, you will be posting your workshop assignment by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m., and then you'll be providing feedback to at least one of your classmates by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is your schedule for planning workshops on the weeks that we have planned workshops due. So what this actually involves, so a planned workshop is kind of like a proposal. It's the first stage in the writing process for our course. So what you'll do is you'll write a 3-paragraph long post, each paragraph having a specific task it needs to complete. So the first paragraph is going to explain the subject that you're going to write about. So what is it that you want to say? What argument do you want to make? What text do you want to analyze or respond to? What question do you want to research? Whatever it is. What's the topic? What's the subject? What are you writing about? And when we do the rhetorical evaluation or productive counter-argument project, both of which require you to respond to one or more professionally published texts, you're going to include a link or links to those texts so that your other classmates and I can check this and make sure that it's something that's going to work for that project. So that's something that you could do within that first paragraph, explaining the subject. The second paragraph, you're going to identify the audience and purpose for your project. So who would be interested in the argument that you're making? Who would want to know more about this? And why do you want to write it? Why is it something that you are driven to do? And then the third paragraph is going to set the stakes for this project. So essentially this explains why this matters. Why is your research question? Why is the counter argument? Why is the rhetorical evaluation? Why is the profile something that's important either to you or to your audience? Preferably to both. So we're following up paragraph 2, which establishes who you're writing for. Paragraph 3, establishing why it matters. Why do the people that you're writing for care about this topic? So that's what your 3 paragraphs are going to be doing. Explaining the subject, identifying the audience and purpose, and then setting the stakes. You do want to be as clear as possible about what you plan to do in this project, about the arguments you plan to make, etc., etc., because this is the first stage of the process where you're starting to think through this paper. The other reason you want to be as detailed as possible is because this is your first opportunity to get feedback. So you're developing your idea, but then you're also going to get responses from classmates, and I'm going to be looking at the plans that you've posted to make sure that what you're doing is going to allow you to be successful on this project. So if for whatever reason you're running in a direction that doesn't seem like it's going to work, that's something that I can tell you right now in the planning stage so that you can revise that and make changes to make it work better. So again, the other aspect of this is that by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the weeks when these are due, you're going to provide feedback to at least one of your classmates. You want this to be useful or insightful feedback. So you can ask them questions to think further about, you can propose alternative ideas, you can complicate their thinking about their subject, you could suggest other directions to consider, whatever it is, but you want to make sure that you're giving them something to help strengthen their paper. So the last thing we've got on this plan workshop sheet is the grading criteria. So these are the criteria that I'm going to be using to assess your plan workshops. So they should come as no surprise based on what we have in the assignment sheet itself, but your proposal should, or your plan should, summarize the subject, argument, or research question you intend to write about, clearly identify your intended audience and purpose, establish why the topic matters to you and the audience, and respond critically to at least one classmate's plan. So that's your planning workshops. Revision workshops are going to run pretty similarly. One major difference is that they will come toward the end of our project. So revision workshops on the weeks that they're due will only be due by Wednesday, and you won't be responsible for responding to a partner. You won't be responsible for responding to a classmate. Because on Sunday, on the weeks that we do revision workshops, you'll be turning in final drafts of a major project. That being said, the revision workshops, once again, are going to be 3-paragraph posts with each paragraph carrying out a specific task. So the first paragraph is going to assess your project against the grading criteria on the project assignment sheet. So each of our assignment sheets for the major project are going to have a set of grading criteria like the ones on these workshop sheets. Those are again going to be the criteria that I use to assess how successfully you've completed those projects. So you want to go back to those grading criteria, and every week in the planning workshops and the revision workshops, I've included links to the assignment sheets for those projects. So you'll be able to do that pretty easily. So the first thing, you're assessing your project against the grading criteria. How well have you met the requirements? How well do you think that you've met the requirements? Next, you're going to describe one significant or important revision that you made in the revision process. For this, you'll have peer review feedback. So that's one thing that you will be able to utilize in making your revisions. We've also got a revision strategy sheet that's up on Canvas, and you should be using those revision strategies to help strengthen your final drafts. So between the feedback that you got on peer review and the revision strategies on the revision strategies sheet, you should be making changes between your peer review draft and your final draft. You're going to tell me about one significant revision that you made. And you want to be as detailed as possible. Then your third paragraph is going to identify the most useful piece of peer review feedback that you got. This is a way of prompting you to think critically about the feedback you're getting from your peers, because you don't necessarily want to just blindly take every suggestion they've made. You want to use that feedback critically. So again, those are the three things that this workshop is going to be doing. The other thing this workshop can do, if you want, is if you've had any successes, anything you think was a really strong component of this paper, anything that you're proud of, tell me about that. Draw my attention to that, because I can keep that in mind as I'm grading this project. Similarly, if there were areas where you struggled, areas where you ran into problems, things that you tried to fix but you're not really happy with, you can let me know about that and explain what you attempted to do to solve those problems. And that's something, again, that I can keep in mind as I'm grading these projects. So this gives you the opportunity to shape the way that I approach grading your project to a certain extent. And again, the grading criteria come directly out of what the assignment requires. Your revision workshop should evaluate how well your project has met the assignment grading criteria, describe one change you made to the paper during revision, and discuss the most useful feedback you got in peer review. So that's what you're doing for these workshops. They're fairly straightforward. If you sort of scroll down through our course modules, you can see actually in week 2, we have our first workshop due, the profile planning workshop. And so to submit that, and this is actually how you submit responses for discussions as well. And again, I've got the assignment sheet copied and pasted into each of these discussion forums, and a link to the project assignment sheet itself, so you can pull that up to look back at the grading criteria for that. But then when you want to submit your response, whether you are going to compose it here in the discussion forums, going to compose in Microsoft Word or Google Docs or something like that and copy paste it, whatever you want to do, all you have to do when you get in there is click this reply button, and you'll get something that looks like this. You can type your response. There we go. Sorry. You can type your response in there and then click post reply. The other option that you have, if you want to, if you click this record or upload media button, that will pop up. I mean, this will ask you if you want to let them use, if you want to let Canvas use your webcam and microphone, which I'm not going to do. But you can also upload a video if you recorded a video response to a discussion post or a workshop post. So that's another option that you have, although almost no one ever does that. But you type your response or upload your video or whatever it is, copy paste your response, and then click post reply. So that's now posted. Then when you want to respond to one of your classmates by Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you're going to click the little reply button beneath their post. And again, that'll pop up with the same thing. You type your response, which again should be much more substantive than what I've just put there. And then you click post reply, and it'll pop up there. Now, once these are graded, which will happen on Monday, you can go to the grades page. And along the side here, you got a set of tabs. If you go to grades, you will see for these, you get a check mark right here. And if you click on that assignment link from here, it'll tell you what the grade is. For the workshops and the discussion forum posts, these are all getting graded complete, incomplete, which actually makes your lives quite easy, because essentially that means as long as you meet the requirements, you get full credit for that post. So you do want to make sure that you're doing all of those posts and doing them on time. Otherwise, they may not get complete. They may get an incomplete, which will drag your grade down for the workshops or the discussion forum posts. So that's how these are going to work. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Again, you've got links to everything through our Canvas homepage, which we'll pull up in just a second. Yes. So every week, under Submit by Wednesday, you will have a discussion forum post and a profile planning workshop on the days when one of those is due. Or a planning workshop or a revision workshop on the days when one of those is due.